How the devil? Ooh! Oh yeah, why are you? Oh, I got a good one today. Right, I have got this Toshiba, what is it? RT-120s boombox from 1983. Something rattling around in there. That's not good. Okay. Now you're wondering, why the hell has he got this? Well, this particular model brings back a lot of memories for me. This model was the first boombox I ever bought, and it was my first dip into music products. I just got a job. It was a government scheme, £25 a week. Okay, I saved up and bought this, and it went everywhere with me. And I actually found, or my brother found, a few photographs of us in the park, okay, with this boombox. So here's some photographs here. Now, I was taking the photographs, so I wasn't in all of them. It was one of them old clicky wind-along cameras, you know, one of them. But I am in this photo. Second from the left, you see me here, and third from the left is my brother. Now, you can see a lot of beers in these pictures. Now, we were a little bit young, so we used to go down the park. It was a big rugby field and playing fields and things like that. And we just sit there listening to music and drink a few beers. And when I say a few, okay. Yeah, and I was only 17 at the time. And my brother was a couple of years younger than me, so he's probably only about 15. Whoops, bad influence. Anyway, so here it is. I managed to find one on eBay. I put it in eBay. You can just save a search, and it'll give you an email to say if one comes up. And one came up. So I've been waiting for ages, and one came up. And it seems in pretty decent condition. There's a few things not working, which I'll go through in a bit, which I'm going to have to hopefully make some repairs. Now, I've got no background in engineering or mechanics or anything like that, or electrical engineering. So I'm just a bloke who has a go at stuff and see if he can fix it. So I might not be able to get it working. So anyway, let's get it on the table and have a look at it. Okay, so here it is. And then you can see it in all its glory. Woo! Okay, so we've actually got tweeters. What? There's an actual tweeter in there. A lot of the modern cheapy boom boxes you get today, it looks like it's got a tweeter, but there's nothing in it. It's just a fake tweeter. And then you've got your mid bass here. You got your headphone socket, which is handy. So when I was home sometimes and I wanted to listen to music in bed or in my bedroom, I could put my headphones in. That was beautiful. Tone control, no bass, treble, just a straight tone control. You got your volume here. Then you've got mono, stereo, and stereo wide. Now, I remember using this stereo wide and thinking, it just made it sound a bit funky. It's supposed to give a more stereo wide sound. I think, if I believe right, it puts one of the speakers out of phase. I'm not 100% sure on that. If anybody knows more about stereo wide, let me know in the comment section. But I always used to keep it on stereo. Then you got tape or radio off, AM, FM. And then you got shortwave, medium wave, and long wave there. Now, I never ever used these. It was always on FM. Always on FM all the time. Yeah, I kept it on all the time. You got eject. This was at the time, this was pretty cool because before you always had to press, remember them old tape recorders, you had to press play and record at the same time, dunk, to get it to go. This was a one-touch record. No, I won't do it now, hang on. I'm gonna have to do this, hang on, is my hand in the way? There we go, okay. So it's a one-touch record, and you could do that, and it would push down both of them. So that was really handy. Now you probably find that the tape that's going to need sorting out. There we are. We'll come back to that in a second. Then you got your tuner there, okay, and it had a tuning, and if it tuned into FM stereo, both lights would light up, or if it was just mono, the tuning light would light up, and then you got your battery light there. Now, this used to take 6 D-cell batteries, which at the time wasn't too bad. Some of them were 8. And if I remember rightly, it would, playing the radio, they would last quite a long time. But when you used to play a tape, you're probably looking at 2 hours max, and there was no rechargeable batteries. Then you had to go and buy another one. So I used to spend a lot of my wages on batteries. On the back, you've got your power in here. Your battery compartment. I'll put these in a sec, okay? Actually, stick them in now. Oh! Let's turn that off. Well, what the deuce is going on? Yeah. Here's a little tip for you. If you have one of these, make sure you put the back on before you move it. Schoolboy error. Okay, that's them in there. Okay. There you go. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Now, I never knew these existed on the back here. So you've got your mic here, left and right, so you can have it stereo, one for each speaker. And you got your auxiliary in, left and right. Now this is to record from another source, I believe. But the thing is though, it's not RCA. Okay, so the RCA cables don't fit in there. So I don't know how you'd have to do, I'm not sure how well it works. It looks like that's 3.5mm jack. So I wonder whether, I don't know whether you'd have, how do you get stereo? Because obviously that one would plug into a source. You could record from another source using that. So one would plug into the source and then you plug it into there. So I don't know, I don't know whether if you get 2 into 1, possibly, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into that in a bit later on. Right, it just looks like the doors come out of the hinge there. I don't think anything, hopefully nothing's broken. That's going to be awkward. In there looks a little bit dirty. I'm going to get the front of this off now because I have given it a little bit of a test. So the radio works. Let me just turn that down.
I would hope that they would do such a good job.
But there's no aerial on it. The aerial's gone. Can you see that? So I could possibly use myself as a bit of an aerial. Let's see if I can get...
Let me hear you.
Mr. Yep. He did. That was good of him. Poor Dominic had got like dozens of them.
Yeah, so... Turn it off, I'll be copyright struck. But it seems like it obviously needs an aerial on it, which I've actually bought all the spares for it, which I'll go and get now, which I'll show you. Okay, so I've got an aerial, hopefully that'll fit. It was a few quid. It's a little bit, it's not as strong, maybe I'll get a better one in future. I just only paid about 2 quid for this, so not really the best. But it looks like it fits in there, and I'll fit that on. There we are, look, fit it on there. Also what I noticed as well is one or two things. Let's get it on tape, okay? And first thing is, listen to that motor. So the motor sounds quite noisy. So I may need to take that apart and just put a drop of oil in. Hopefully that'll quieten it down a bit. But the good thing is it is working. The motor's spinning. But I don't know if you can see here, just there, okay, that nothing's happening. The capstan's not spinning, the wheel, nothing's spinning here at all, whatever. And it is very dirty in there, okay. So there's a few things I need doing to it. So I got a belt pack. Hopefully one of these belts will fit it. I'm going to fit the new aerial, and also I'm going to give it a good clean because I'm not sure if it'll pick it up on camera, but it's pretty dirty, okay? So first things first, let's give it a clean. Oh, that's dirty. Look at that. Okay, that's looking a bit better now. A little bit cleaner. There's maybe some superficial more cleaning needs to be done in here. I'm definitely going to clean the heads in there. They're absolutely filthy, which I'll show you that later. But the easiest job I'm going to do now is just put the aerial on. So I believe it's just a little screw here, and I've got the aerial there. It looks like it's going to fit. There's two little washers in there and a screw that holds it in there. So it shouldn't be too bad. I think the most fiddliest bit is going to get these washers either side of the aerial. It's a self-tapping screw, so it just screws into the other side. There's no nut, I don't think, on the other side. No. There we are. We need to get these washers out. That's easier said than done. There we are. Easiest way is to tip it up. There we are. I've got these two little washers here that go either side of that. But it's lining those up in there that's going to be the difficult part. Yay! Took a bit of time, it was a bit fiddly, but it's worked. Now let's see if the radio sounds any better. Okay, I'm getting reception, but the problem I got is that if I tune it just outside, so you've got this little FM stereo light here and then tuning. So I'm tuning now and it sounds pretty alright, it's not bad.
I mean, you are going to have to sit and watch all of the walking.
But as soon as I tune it right into FM stereo, there we are. Get it lit. Can you see it's just not quite, there you go. Hang on.
Can I say that you compromise and you
It's a bit hissy, even if I put it on mono.
No.
So I do find that it's better to just get it on tuning, get it right. Just there.
22 points. You're
And it sounds better. Anyway, there you
The
go.
whole of the walk.
There you go. The radio's working. All right. You won't get much. You won't get much on medium wave now, I don't think. Let's see if I can find anything. Get it on AM first.
Oh, there anymore. I feel like you've pulled the pin for something better. Do you know what I mean? You've left us high and dry.
Not really. I'm just very busy. You know,
Should we
it's
try
like
long wave?
whack-a-mole on.
Anything on there? Except static.
To inspect the
Oh!
whole playing area, the square and so on around it. And of course then the inevitable 7 minutes roll.
Should we try shortwave? Anything on there? Surely not. Nah, nothing. Right, let's turn that off before I get copyright. Okay. Okay, so the radio's done, aerial's done, bam. Okay, so it came with the power lead, although this is quite an old plug. I'm going to change that out for a newer one, which is what I've bought here. And you could say, what's the point in changing it? Well, if you look at this one, it doesn't have the insulation there on that. And the old British plugs didn't, back from the 80s. So I think this was put on probably when it was bought. Now remember, back in the 80s, a lot of electrical equipment would come with no plug on it. You'd have to put the plug on yourself. It was only until, I think, the early 90s did equipment start coming with a plug already on it. So probably the person who bought this had to put the plug on. I'm assuming it may have come with the plug, but it's back then it's unlikely they would just come with bare wire and you'd put the plug on. Appliances, washing machines, everything did that until the early 90s. And then they used to put the plug on because people were wiring them improperly and whatever. So they thought it's safer to put the plug on, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's have a look in this plug. Now, sometimes you do find when people also would put plugs on. Now, the British plug is fused. And for something like that, you probably need either a 5 amp or a 3 amp fuse. And a lot of the plugs used to come standard with 13 amp fuses, which is no good. Oh, it's got a 3 amp. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. And no earth. Okay. No earth. Just a live and a neutral. And that makes it even more dangerous because it's not got no earth here. So what happens is, let me get something to demonstrate. Okay, so we got the old plug here. It says earth here, live and neutral. Okay. Now, these are the dangerous bits. Now, the way a British plug works, right, is that you can see this neutral is longer. So it's very hard to get anything in there because there's 2 flaps. It's not until I press this in here, these flaps go away and you can get them in, okay? So, what happens with here, let's see if I can get it at an angle where I can show you. Okay, so if I push that in there now, right? If I push that in there now, can you see that now they're going in? So them bits there are now live. So if a little kid was to come along and that plug was hanging out and they went, tickle, 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 with something metal or whatever, right? They put could get their little fingers in there. If they had this one, here, watch now. Okay, that's the hair hanging out. And they go, look at that, what's that, Daddy? Okay, they get an electric shock. Okay, and that's the end of them, right? So what they did in later plugs, they put this little bit of insulation in. So when it goes in, look, now that's open, now they're going in, you can't get a shock. Da, 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 da. So that's why I'm going to change the plug. And there you go. I'm not sure if you can see that there, but you can see here, this is a 13 amp. That ain't no good. So what I did, I took the 3 amp fuse, it's still a good fuse, it's still working, and I'm going to put that in there then. What I like about this plug as well, it's got this little thing here, which you put the wire through, that sits on the bottom, and when you screw that down, it tightens it on that and the top bit there. So that's pretty cool. I like that. But I bet it's going to make it more difficult to get them through. I got that song stuck in my head now. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-da. Da, 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 da. Do 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 do. Me 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 me. Do you know how I always remember this? It's blue is left because the second letter is L, and brown is right because the second letter is R. There we are. Brown right, blue left. Yay! Here we are, that's all done. And I think the black plug actually goes better with the lead. It looks a bit more like it's supposed to be part of it rather than this white thing here. Anyway, so that's done. Okay, so this video has gone on a teeny bit too long for my liking, so I'm going to do a part 2. So if you want to see me take it apart, put in new belts, fix the door, sort out the motor, then you better like and subscribe, hadn't you? Otherwise you're going to miss it. What? You don't want to miss that. So anyway, I'll catch you in part 2.